Welcome back, guys, to another video, and today we have some rather sad news to talk about related to Xbox and more importantly Halo fans, because about a week ago, Halo Studios, the new 343, the studio making Halo, announced that they will be pushing out the last and final update for Halo Infinite, the newest game in the Halo series. Now this is pretty big news because Halo Infinite's multiplayer has been getting pretty constant updates for like 5 years now, and this new final update is coming out because they said they need all hands on deck for the next games coming out, so they decided to pull away from Halo Infinite and focus on the next game. But there's some pretty big news to talk about, and we are going to go over it in this video to catch y'all Halo fans up. And before we get into this final update and all this and the next game and all that, let's first talk about Halo Infinite, what it is, and why it's so important in the Halo series for all you people who haven't played it or just don't play on Xbox and don't care about Halo. So pretty much Halo Infinite is the 6th major installment in the Halo series, and it follows, of course, Master Chief's story. It was released on Xbox One and Xbox Series X/S in September of 2021. And this Halo is pretty important because it did a new move that has never been seen before in the Halo franchise, and that is they split the campaign and multiplayer up. So the campaign was locked behind, a $60 paywall, which is pretty normal for Halo, but the multiplayer was actually free to play. So anyone could download the multiplayer and play the Halo multiplayer. And the campaign was kind of just like an added bonus that if you liked the multiplayer, you could spend the money and buy the campaign. And that was never done before in Halo, so that was pretty important. And the reason they did this, like splitting the multiplayer and campaign, is because they wanted to kind of push the franchise so that more people could see it and play it without having to pay $60, which is kind of a smart move to, get people hooked on your multiplayer and then slowly introduce them to the campaign which they have to pay for. Now, before the game came out, they had a multiplayer demo for all their fans to play, kind of like a beta of the multiplayer, and it got really good reviews. People loved it, and people thought that this was going to be the next game to, make Halo good again, and, coming off of Halo 5, people really wanted this game to do good. But because, this game was developed through COVID and all the COVID setbacks and all that, there's still some doubts that this game might not be very good because it went through so many challenges during development because of COVID, and that caused the campaign to get pushed back too. So in November of 2021, when the game came out, we didn't have the campaign, it was only the multiplayer. And fans realized that nothing really changed in the multiplayer since the beta. So on release day, pretty much all you got to play was the beta. And about a month or two later, they finally released a couple updates to, add some stuff, and they, more importantly, added the campaign. But that kind of hurt the game at launch because, the game was pretty much incomplete when they launched it. There was like 2 game modes, no cosmetics, a store that had like all the basic colors to customize your Spartan you had to pay for. So, to say the least, it had a lackluster release. And soon after the multiplayer's release, they released Season 1, which we were told was going to be, the update that would bring back all the features that the fans wanted. Because right now, the game had 2 multiplayer game modes, 0 campaign, no forge, and pretty much lacked everything that made a Halo game a Halo game. So when Season 1 rolled around in later November, it brought with us a battle pass and more cosmetics in the store. Pretty much no changes were made to the actual game itself. The campaign was still yet to arrive, and the game modes from previous Halo games were yet to arrive, so it kind of left fans with just 2 game modes and a battle pass. And the challenges to unlock the stuff in the battle pass were crazy hard, like ridiculously hard. Fast forward a couple weeks, and there's some more updates made to the game, and the campaign finally arrives, which is a whole nother story, but the campaign was pretty bad for what we thought we were going to get. We thought we were going to get something much better. Now, I personally liked the campaign, but a lot of people were not impressed with the campaign when it launched. But with this campaign launch, they brought a couple new updates, but nothing really changed in the game. So fans were still kind of disappointed that, this wasn't what they advertised. We thought we were going to have something much bigger. And through multiple development challenges and lead directors and stuff just not knowing how to run this game, the game encountered a bunch of essentially flops and just didn't really perform well. And the game pretty much died around Season 2. And Season 2 of the multiplayer is pretty important to talk about too, because multiple months after the Season 1 of the multiplayer release, Season 2 came out. And this was probably the downfall of the game, because Season 2, nothing was really added except cosmetics, and Season 2 lasted for way longer than it was supposed to due to development errors and not having enough resources and a bunch of behind-the-scenes problems. But then, after around 6 months of Season 2 being out and the multiplayer pretty much being dead, the Halo Studios dropped Season 3, and that kind of brought the game back to life. They added the Bandit, a bunch of new content, and a new Battle Pass. But still, nothing much really happened in Season 3 until Season 4 came around, and that's when a ton of new changes were made, and the game started to actually take shape and, kind of seem like a good Halo game. Fast forward until the current day, 2025, the game has gotten pretty recent updates. It's gotten updates that say like every 2 weeks, the game's gotten an update. We've gone through countless seasons, a ton of good changes have been made. There's an entire list of game modes you can play now, a ton of returning game modes from the old games that have made their way into the game. A bunch of new guns have been added, new vehicles have been added, battle passes have been improved, challenges for the battle pass have been improved, progression systems added, the ranked mode's seen some changes for the better, and in all, the game honestly has kind of gotten pretty good. It's a fun game to play, especially with friends, and there's a ton of content in the game, although the campaign has yet to see any major changes, so none of the new guns from the multiplayer made their way to the campaign, but the multiplayer is pretty fun. Forge came back, Infection came back, Firefight came back, and the game is honestly really fun, and for some Halo fans, they still don't really like it just because, it's not the same as Halo 3, but for a lot of people, this game is honestly a pretty perfect Halo game. But that brings us to modern day, and that is the final update has arrived. And this is kind of important because, this game has gotten, since Season 3, this game has gotten pretty, constant updates, every 2 weeks. Like I said, they're probably getting enough bug fixes, updates, and they've been getting, pretty big updates this last year. And that's what caused people to think over this past year that the game might be on its way out, because we've been getting bigger and bigger updates with more and more content this year, and it's kind of strange for a game that was 4 years old this year that they'd be pumping out these massive updates, and that was kind of, a weird sign. Why would they be pushing all this stuff out in a game that's so old when we already know they're working on the next game? That was kind of a sign for the worse, and our fears were confirmed about a week ago when a big update came out called Operation Infinite, and in the game they essentially said that this is the last update for Infinite, that there will be no more big updates after this, and that they're moving pretty much everyone who worked on Infinite into the new studios to develop the new games. So Halo Infinite officially got its final update, and that was kind of sad for a lot of people because this game had gone from pretty bad to a pretty good game in the last 5 years, and had been honestly pretty fun. They improved it a lot, and the game was just fun to play. So for a lot of people, this was sad to see that this game is no longer going to be supported, and soon enough, it'll probably get shut down. You won't be able to play it anymore. So this is almost like a closing of an era for a lot of people, because this game had been with us for 5 years, and although it started off pretty bad and went through its rough spots, it honestly overall was pretty fun, and especially right now in its current state, the game is really fun and full of stuff to do. So that was kind of sad to see that, it's the end of this game. It's no longer getting any new updates, new guns, nothing. It's just, this is how it's going to be forever now. And although it is sad to, know that this game isn't going to be getting supported any longer, It's still nice to know that they're not going to shut it off right now, that although they cut updates for it, it's still going to be around because the game is fun and, there's still plenty to do. So now let's take a deeper look into this final update and, what makes it special and is there anything really new in it. So the final update for Halo Infinite, which is named Operation Infinite, it's kind of a funny name to go with the name of the game, brings a 100-tier battle pass, which is not really common. Usually we only get 50-tier battle passes, so an 100-tier battle pass is pretty big and offers a good amount of progression for people to work through. It also offers some bug fixes, multiple new maps for fan favorite game modes, and 2x XP and career XP bonuses. So now for the rest of the game's life cycle, whenever you play, you'll gain 2x XP and career XP. So you can try and get to that final career rank, the hero rank. So essentially, if you want to get your battle passes completed and get to the max rank, you'll have 2x XP for the rest of the game's life cycle. So now's your time to hop on and unlock all the battle passes that you have sitting in your account. Also, the exchange received a pretty major update. A ton of items just got moved to the exchange, so you no longer have to buy them from the shop. You can now buy them from the exchange using the currency that you earn. And a ton of items that were never released in the shop just got implemented into the exchange. So a ton of items that were previously unpurchasable are now purchasable in the exchange for completely free. You don't have to pay anything. So if you want to get some free stuff while this game lasts, go to the exchange and use up all those Spartan points because you don't have to pay a single dime for a ton of the cosmetics now. And talking about cosmetics, the shop got a refresh, so a bunch of new cosmetics themed around the campaign and the Flood are now in the shop where you can buy them with Spartan points, the premium coin of the game. So if you have some Spartan coins laying around your Xbox gift cards, you can now buy some brand new skins and stuff from the shop. Now, in terms of the shop, I think this might be the last shop refresh that we'll see. I don't think they'll be adding in any new armor sets. If they do anything, it'll probably just be a reset and they'll bring back some old cosmetics maybe. Because I know there is a daily rotation slot in the shop. So that'll probably just be old cosmetics. I don't think they'll be making any new cosmetics for this game. So don't expect the shop to be pumping out new cosmetics. This is probably the last shop refresh. So whatever's in the shop now, I'm assuming will be in the shop forever until the game's eventually shut down. So I think what's in the shop right now is going to be staying. So don't expect anything new to be rotating in and out of the shop. Which I guess, it is kind of smart. You don't want to spend money on a game that's no longer going to get supported. But, for people that did like the stuff in the shop, sucks for you, I guess. Now, there is some questions as to if this is, the final update. It was confirmed that it's the final major update, but we don't know if there will be any, smaller updates. We don't know if there's going to be any smaller bug fixes down the road or some improvements, or if maybe there is some more little updates, cosmetic updates and such in the works. We don't really know. We were just told that this is the final big update. And we can also kind of infer this because if you go to the Battle Pass page where it usually shows when the season's over, it says it's over in 3,900 days, 3,637 days to be exact. And that's we've never seen that before. So that's also a pretty big sign that we're probably not going to get any new Battle Passes anytime soon. But I don't know, there might still be some smaller updates. Maybe they'll add in some new maps or something that were in the works later down the line. But as of right now, this is the final big update, so nothing new is going to be added. So, although it is a sad day for Halo Infinite fans, I guess for Halo fans as a whole, we have some stuff to look forward to, especially this Campaign Evolved remake. From what I've seen so far, it looks pretty good, and a lot of people think it's going to be pretty good. So I guess it's, we have some stuff to look forward to, but yet again, Halo Infinite's it's a pretty old game, 5 years. And I played it in the beta, so I've been playing it for 5 years, and it was it had a pretty good run. no matter what people say, I think it was a very good game because, there's a lot of fun stuff. Husky Raid was pretty fun. It was just a fun game. So, it's a little sad to see it go, especially because, for people like me who's been there since the beginning, it's been cool to see how the game's, gotten better. And also, I still have all the Halo Infinite collectibles and Nerf guns and stuff, so maybe those will go up in price now that the game's pretty much gone. So it is a little sad because it has essentially been an era of Halo for a lot of fans. But, I guess we have the future to look forward to. But it's a little sad, see the game going, especially because this, for a lot of people, has been their first Halo game. And a lot of people have liked the multiplayer, too. So, I don't know. It's a little sad to see it go, but I guess you can't have the game go on forever, and it is probably pretty costly to keep the game going. So, I don't know. And we don't really have any confirmation as to when the servers will be shut down. So, as of right now, you'll be able to play the game for, I don't know, maybe another couple years. But I'm assuming the servers will eventually get shut down, but there's no confirmation as to when yet. It's just the game will not be getting new updates. But you can still play the game right now, and you can still play the campaign. But no new updates. So, I guess that's kind of all for Halo Infinite today. Sad to see it go, but, excited for the new games coming. And maybe I'll even do a video reacting to the new Halo Campaign Evolved game coming out. Tell me down in the comments if I should do that. And until then, go hop on Halo Infinite and enjoy this final